Hey everybody on YouTube, we're back. This is part 2. So we'll have Cheryl put some of these things together. If you guys are able to find this and watch now, that's lovely. And if you are not, then there will be the replay. So, and now that all that's happened, I was like, I'm going to reintroduce you and say your name right. And I'm like,
go for it. Go for it.
Katya Gorba. Let me have a cheat.
My name is not on this. It's okay. It's right here.
Okay. Katya Gorbacheva.
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 Good. Good. Wonderful. Thanks.
Gorbacheva.
Thanks, Cheryl. That's very good. Awesome.
I'm only going to make fun of
Sorry,
you now.
Just Kathy. Wow. It's just
now
today.
I feel okay.
Yeah, all right.
But what's funny is because Cheryl and I are like the same size and pasty white and everything, people call us each other's names, even though, yes, but it's not uncommon at all.
It's funny.
So, and Joanne is back. Yay!
Yay, we're back too.
So we'll see if people find this or not. I swear, Mercury or somebody is like messing with me. So
are we going to work out?
We are going to work out.
Okay,
awesome power lifter. I'm going to put all the information from the other stuff here, but if you want to get in touch with her and you're like, I see nothing and I need to know now, email me at kathyhester@gmail.com. Or you can also
just Google my name. Like, that's my name right there. It's Katya Gorbacheva. That's not very difficult.
And so
a couple folks emailed me last week, actually.
Oh, yay. No, that's great. Because actually, I took a couple of days off from email, and then when I finally got down there, Katya was like, are you guys still alive after?
Because I don't think I have your phone number. It didn't save when I was saving it, so I was just emailing you, like, you know.
And it's the best way to get in touch with me. It's like a really weird blip. But so, anyhow, she is going to, I'm going to let you reintroduce what you're going to do. And then, so we're going to do a whole routine. So you guys want to go ahead and probably bookmark this live.
Yeah, so what you probably want to do is you want to take a notebook and just make notes. Don't repeat it as we go because you're going to do it once and you're going to forget what we did. I would rather prefer that you take a notebook and just make notes, or I guess you can make notes and do stuff. And while you're trying and doing stuff, let us know. This is me.
Here we go. I'm going to give you that one.
Okay, so I can step back and people can see and hear me. Okay. Yeah, so let us know what works and what doesn't work because we can scale stuff for you live right now. We can scale it up if stuff is too easy. But yeah, if you ask questions now, like I can give you some tips on like if you can't do this, what do you replace it with? Okay, so let's break the body down into like the biggest muscles first, right? The head's not important, right, Kathy? Who needs
I'm going to get your head. There you go.
Okay, cool. So, some of the most basic things, I guess, that people do. People do squats, right? What do they work? I mean, they work a lot of muscles, but glutes. Okay, what else?
I'm pointing at things.
Okay.
Your quads, too, right?
Your quads. Quads are probably the main ones, yes. Glutes, kind of minorly. Okay. They work glutes a little bit, but not as much as another exercise that I'm going to show you later. What else do they work?
Well,
hamstrings. The thing in the back of the leg, hamstrings. Adductors, the muscles that add your glutes together, your legs together, right? Okay. And they don't really work abductors very much. Okay. That's if you do it body weight. Now, can everybody here squat? Standing on pressure through midfoot, standing on both feet evenly. We're not on the heels, we're not on the toes. When we're at the bottom, the foot, you see how it doesn't change. I was standing like this and I'm still here and your butt just goes straight down. So I'm trying not to wobble, I'm trying not to move my feet around. You should be pretty stable here. Okay. If you are not stable, this is your helper right here. So you basically close the door on a band, and then the band can pull you up. So I have a fridge here. I don't have a door, but I'm just gonna, show as if I was using the band, right? So if it's too hard for me to go down and get up, if my body weight's too heavy, if I'm not used to doing this exercise, if my ankles are inflexible, so when I go forward, my heels lift up, go as low as you can, and then use support from the band to pull yourself up. You also can do a row at the same time. You can row the band while doing a squat, 2 in 1.
Okay.
Okay, so we broke down a squat. That's great. That is a pushing movement, yeah?
Right.
Yeah, we're pushing the floor away with the legs. Now, let's do a pulling movement.
Okay.
Also kind of full body, lower body focus. What is a great pulling movement that we can do with this guy right here?
Is it your things that you were doing like this last time? So I'm saying she showed the thing like this before. We didn't use bands last
Yeah,
week.
I was just warming up my shoulders. This is not really working out any muscles.
Okay.
So a great pulling movement would be a deadlift, row, or a pull-up. The majority of women struggle doing a pull-up body weight because we're less developed upstairs than men, just naturally. So if you cannot do a pull-up, I would stick with deadlift and row. Very easy with just a band. And before we do a deadlift, I want for everybody to do a hip hinge because it's crucial to understand what the hell is a hip hinge before we learn how to deadlift. And I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, deadlift, but like I swear to God, it's easy with the barbell. You can do it without weight. You can get a water bottle, whatever it is weight-wise that you want to do, but movement-wise, just crucial for existing, Think about picking up your grocery bags. That's a deadlift. Right?
Okay.
So let's start with a hip hinge. I'm going to turn with the side. Imagine that I'm a doll and I have a pin going through my hips. So I can move my legs like this and I can only do this. So I'm going to hinge in my hips. That's a hip hinge. And then go back. So do a couple of these. Notice that I'm not bending in my back.
Right.
That's bending in my back. My back is stiff because I'm a doll. I can't.
Well, and your back is like so perfect. What my yoga teacher used to call that helped me remember was swimmer's back, because even though you're not doing it that much, on the inside it feels like you're kind of doing it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one helpful thing that I can show you. Can I have that broomstick over there?
Absolutely.
So everybody has a broomstick in the house, yeah? I mean, I like to show with like a dowel, but who has a dowel in the house? But we have a broomstick, right? So what we're going to do is you're going to take that broomstick and put it so that it touches your butt crack, your back, and your head. 3 spots. It has to touch in 3 spots, okay? You can hold it with 1 or 2 hands, or you can ask your friend to hold it for you, and then you're going to bend over. Right?
Yes.
That way you make sure your spine is straight and you're only hinging in the hips. Great?
That's awesome.
Questions?
I'm trying to think. So let's...
Oh, you want to try it?
Sure.
I can hold it for you.
But this is... So even if you have a
Head.
big booty, that's what I'm worried about.
I know. That's because... good.
Right?
Very good. Head. Yeah. Keep touching with head. And pretend you're hugging it with your back, like you're trying to hold it with these muscles. I can hold it for you.
Okay.
Yeah. You can put your hands like this.
Like this.
Yeah. Head. Touch head. Good. I know. Keep touching head. It's harder than you think, guys.
It is.
It actually is harder. So anyways,
it feels like you're it's like when you we did that one exercise, which I don't know the name, but I had a thing and we were pulling it down, and what I thought was so cool,
it's a pull-up, it's a lat pull down. You were doing pull-up basically seated.
When Katya showed me and she moved this way, and I had never noticed that, and so that makes me think of this. You were trying to get me in this same formation or similar formation.
Yeah, so all pulling exercises are similar in terms of how your back works. It doesn't matter if you pick stuff up from the ground or if you pull stuff from top down. Your back is kind of like, I mean, you're rowing stuff, you're pulling stuff. And the reason why we're hunching a lot is because our back muscles are weak. All we do is freaking bicep curls, ab and push-ups and squats, which are these and front muscles. We don't do anything for back muscles because I don't see them in the mirror. Who cares? And then we walk around slouchy like this because, well, boobs, pull us this way. Gravity pulls us this way.
And computer.
Yeah, computer. We carry a baby. We carry a, heavy thing. And we don't ever do this. So we need to open up, basically, and pulling exercises are going to do that for us.
Okay.
So this is for you. We learned how to do a hip hinge. Now let's learn how to do a deadlift.
Okay.
We're going to grab a band. I'm going to step on a band. And basically just get up. If it's too hard, you can just loop the band another way, like a double it, and it'll be harder. So this combines two movements, right? It combines a hip hinge and a squat, right? So this is a full squat, but deadlift is hip hinge and a squat. So I'm bending my knee and I'm bending my hip. And it'll take you a while to figure it out how this is different than this, but like if you see how my joints are moving and going down, like it is different.
Even though there's a little bit of forward with the back here.
Let's see it. Let's make sure your feet are even.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's me getting on this.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, okay, wait.
Yeah, so you bend hip and then bend knee and then do the reverse now. Yep.
So,
and stand up straight after. Yep. Bend hip, bend knee.
Bend hip.
I know. It's you can't just like do it when somebody says it, even though it's two things. If you haven't done it, your brain doesn't have like the neuron connections for it. Keep going.
Okay. Hip.
Let's try to make them smooth, not like hip, knee.
Okay.
But like and you want to push the floor away from you, kind of more explosively. And you also want to keep this back straight. Pretend you're trying to hug a pencil with the middle of your back right here. So your back is really engaged. Your arms are like ropes. They're just holding the band. You're not pulling.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just learning to do deadlift, basic deadlift. Great.
Okay.
That looks awesome. Yeah, so you can do that. You can loop the band, grab it in the front, hold it in the front. Same. When you're warming up, I also like to have like a super light band and I put it around my neck. So I would do that.
Oh.
So I can first do some hip hinges just to warm up my back, figure out how it is in terms of holding the right position, and then I can do some deadlifts.
And realize she said a very light band.
Oh yes, very light.
I just want to just reiterate, if you just have one heavy band you've been using, don't do that one.
Yeah, so to show you guys different bands, I got these.
Here, we'll change to this one.
Yeah, so I got these at Five and Below. They're literally $5, so you can just go and get some. I got a 15-pounder, a 20-pounder. Sometimes they don't say, and sometimes they're a little shorter than this one. This one's from Amazon, and I think this is a 15 to 25-pounder.
Okay.
These come in sets of 3, but like from doing gymnastics and stuff, we usually just had a roll of those in the gym, and you just cut however much you wanted. But they usually come like this, and these are like extremely light, extremely.
Yeah, no, mine was super easy.
Yeah, so like I said.
But I felt like one of the things that was cool is that because I was holding it, it kept me more in the right place, even though my arms instinctive. It's the Taurus in me. Like even in Aikido, the whole thing is like when someone's grabbing you, you're not supposed to push back. And that was the hardest thing for me because I'm like, if you push me, yeah. And so I think that's why I felt it. So I wanted to pull. Yeah. But I felt like it did help me keep my body, like give me a better idea of where my body should be.
But potentially, yeah. So that's another reason why I like bands versus dumbbells. It's also they're really portable and it's easy to scale your movement. So you're not worried about like, okay, I'm stuck with these 10-pound dumbbells. Now I'm with the 20-pound. They're like, oh, like I need to buy another set. Like with these, I've had these for years, and like I'm a nationally qualified powerlifter. I still use this stuff. You know what I mean? My mom uses this stuff, so it's so versatile. Okay, so we did a pushing movement, a pulling movement for the bottom, the downstairs. Let's continue doing some pushing and some pulling movements for going up your body. So I don't remember if we talked about it last time, but I do want for folks to remember that we do need stability in the shoulders. We need mobility in the thoracic spine, so your upper back, it needs to be able to do this. Most people have very poor mobility in thoracic spine, which is why their mobility in like lumbar compensates, and you get lower back pain, stuff like that. So again, stability in the shoulders is what we need, mobility in the upper back, stability in the lower back. We do not have vertebrae in there. So we have to have muscles in your core, especially in the back. By core, I don't just mean abs, people. I mean back. Back is more important than front. If you remember anything from today, remember that. Train your back muscles more than the front ones. Stability, mobility in the hips, right? If you can't, do this, your lower back is going to hunch and potentially get injured. Stability around the knee, mobility around the ankle. Why mobility around the ankle? It's because if I can't do this, right, I'm going to squat like that because they're not mobile, and everything up the chain is just not going to work how it's supposed to work, rather than if my body weight goes directly into the floor like this.
Yeah, I love that you're talking a lot about mobility and about, because I think sometimes maybe at least middle-aged women, or me in particular, kind of think about, strength training as just building strength because it's cool or something, but you forget. So like when I think I mentioned that 2 elections ago, I woke up that morning, pulled a dish out of the thing and like hit the ground. Like my back was out, like I messed up my back.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so part of that is because I didn't have the strength. And I think that we forget, again, kind of going back
Something
to
compensated.
Part 1 when we were saying, I think sometimes people worry about hurting themselves about, well, I don't need to lift weights because I'm little and that's going to hurt me. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to build up these muscles and really kind of be like a badass old lady. I would like to be a badass old lady.
Or I would say you're just going to be like a normal, whatever, young,
old.
Yeah,
a healthy person.
Yeah, rather than just like slowly becoming an amoeba. Which people can do at any age. I've seen 30-year-olds who just are like so stiff, and yet they don't have strength either. So like, how do you get there?
Right, because it is harder. And I will say, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot since we've had our talk last week is, and when Cheryl started exercising, Cheryl grew up an athlete. I did not. I played in the band. Like PE was just a nightmare to me, where she was like got a softball scholarship to college and stuff like that. And so it's a very different way of thinking, but because I'm so not smart and stubborn about my body, I'm just like, I'm going to do this, and I will literally not do anything and then just start out with my 3 miles, which is not good.
It's fine.
I mean, it usually works out okay for me, but it doesn't work out okay for everybody.
Yeah.
Instead of really thinking and just kind of planning this. But when Cheryl was getting older and having some issues, one of her big nervousness was that she was afraid that if she pushed herself too hard, she would have a heart attack. And I think that's one of the things that older people sometimes worry about. However, I think a lot of what you're talking about, because we're not really, it's not that you're not working the cardio system at all, especially if you're not so strong like me. Like, I could feel my heart rate go up a little as I was doing things, which was good. I want that too.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good way for people who are worried about that to do these kind of stretches and things that aren't so cardio.
Yeah, because this is more intermittent heart rate going up, and then you take a break. And note, you must take breaks, because if you don't take breaks, your muscles don't recover in between sets, and you cannot perform your best at the next set. Can you check if we're live? Because I don't see the thingy.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, we are. Yay. Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, cool. Before I go to the upper body exercises, if you guys want to ask any questions, do that. In the meantime, I want for you, Kathy, to show them what shoes you're wearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I brought my lifting shoes, and yeah, so let's look at both of those shoes. And what do you think is better to work out in?
Well, you know what I'm going to say, but I think aren't yours better to lift in, and mine are better to walk in?
Well,
or no?
not the puns. These are better to run in, right? Because they have the cushioning, right? But if you lift in those, even if you do like deadlifts and squats with body weight, this is no problem. Or a little bit of weight, this is no problem. But this feels like stepping on a marshmallow and then lifting the weight. This is a super thin shoe that is clearly for lifting. It has a rubber sole and it sticks to the ground very well. That's a deadlift slipper, but I also squat in those, I bench press. I walk around in those sometimes, so I have multiple like versions of these. They're not very expensive. You can get so many varieties on like Amazon. My favorite is lifting large, and they are for like strength training. However, I just enjoy walking in those and building the muscle in my foot, because when you walk in these, your muscles in the feet atrophy because we're not using them so much, because these are cozy and cushioned.
Oh, these are Altos, and these
Altos are pretty good. They're 0 drop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, just for everybody to know. So it does help you use your feet more than a normal shoe.
Yes.
I'm not
more than like Brooks or something that's like for running.
And Cheryl used to wear 0 shoes, but so Cheryl likes one with no cushion.
Yeah.
And my knees like a little cushion, but also I walk more than she does.
I have shoes that are different. I have shoes that are with cushion for running. I have shoes that are, very stiff ankle support and like foot support for hiking on like rooty terrain. These I have for lifting and kind of walking around town.
And it is counterintuitive to like just the general population that you would want something with kind of less support at the bottom of your foot when you're adding in a significant amount of weight.
Because it makes you wobbly, like I said, stepping on the marshmallow and then lifting weight. Versus this lets you grab the ground with your foot and be more stable. How are you going to be more stable? Like this, if you grab something like this, or if you just kind of, put your hand on like something soft.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
There's a question in there. Form alignment is so important and keeps me from injuries. Thanks, Joanne. Yeah, form alignment is important. However, what I want to tell people who don't lift all that much, we are very adaptable beings, humans. So even if you're doing things slightly crooked, slightly weird, it's usually still better than not doing anything at all. There's been studies looking at people in the poor parts of India who just like move rice all day or do something with terrible form, like bending their backs, how they're not supposed to. And they still outlive, normal Westerners who don't move around, use the car and sit on the couch and like are afraid to do something wrong, or maybe they squat a little bit, or maybe they, drive to the gym, do a little thingy at the gym, drive back home rather than just like walking everywhere and kind of using their body more. Using your body more is usually better than not using your body at all or using it little out of fear. So like hire a coach if you're doubting. Send me a video of you exercising like on email, on Instagram. I'm happy to look at it. Show it to a friend who lifts. But yeah, typically people overthink form. It's important when I'm lifting 300-400 pounds. If you're lifting your body weight, like, come on, man. You can do whatever. You used to fall as a kid. You used to just bleh as a kid.
Yeah.
And fall and get right up and just get moving, right?
And I think that's a great thing to address, because while if you're working on something, you're always going to get a little bit better. And I think most of the careers that I've done, from being a musician to being a programmer, and even now doing food photography, it's a process, right?
Yes.
So maybe what I thought was my best photo 3 years ago, I'll be like, oh, I can't believe I like that, right? I'm so much better now. And I think that in exercise and form, if we think of it as this ongoing process.
For sure.
Because I know, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that when we did stuff last time, I listened to you and I tried to feel my body the best I could. And if I saw a picture of that after doing the broomstick, I would probably go back and go, oh, I should have done this better and that better. However, doing those at all made me have a better week. It
increased your endorphins and dopamine
And I even was like, you know what? I'm going to do a Peloton weight class, even though I did bitty weights. And
That's
actually,
fine. We'll work out today after the
video. It's going to be awesome. And I think one of the cool things is that even feeling this much stronger, like you learn something new, or your butt, like there were definitely muscles in my back that I have not felt in that way. Mm-hmm. So it was really funny. So Cheryl's legs were all wobbly.
Yeah.
And it was my back. Not my back as much as my upper back. I was
Yeah. That's from lat pull downs.
And I was like, I feel so strong, even though I wasn't. But I was like,
oh, you're strong.
You know, it made me feel really neat.
Yeah.
And
so let's try some lat pull downs, and you will assist me with those, Kathy. So I'll be the door where the band is stuck, and Kathy will be doing the movement.
Okay.
So let's see, how are we going to do it? So basically, if you hook the band at the top of the door, close the door, it shouldn't slide anywhere. You can, put something in the band and then close the door, so it absolutely cannot slide out.
You can use this door if you want to, and we can move the camera.
I can use this door. Let's see. All right. Sure. Let's try to use a door. Let's try to not have a band slap me in the face. Cannot promise that won't happen. Okay. Oh, wow. That's very creative. Thank you, Kathy. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So put my band in the door and, it shouldn't slap me. Yep. So basically I can pull it behind my neck. That's usually not very recommended. I can pull it in front of me. You can see, full range of motion. I'm going back up and extending the bend. You can go lower, change your angle.
Okay.
Right? You can stick your band in here, change your angle, do a face pull, elbows up, pull the band to your face, literally preventing yourself from being a hunched over question mark and doing the opposite. If you want to have better posture, that's pretty much a no-brainer. Everybody should do that. It's a great warm-up for athletes. It's a great exercise period for people who do not exercise, who don't walk a lot, who sit at the computer, just across the board. So, yes, I'm trying to look into the camera.
I know.
We have
a lot of cameras, and I keep moving them for us.
So, we got that. Same thing. You can stick it at the bottom and row it that way, right? So, all angles, you can row it to all angles. What if you don't have the door? You probably have a tree. You probably can go to a kid's playground. Right? If you want to row here, body weight, you can just bend over and row.
Oh, and let me move this so they can see. You actually doubled that over.
Well, yeah.
Just to make it smaller?
Because it's not fun for me if I don't.
Okay.
And to make it smaller, yeah.
You're doing it to make it more
to put in more resistance.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you want, you can take one. Right? That's the beauty of a band. You can take one loop. You can take it a little tighter if it's too little for you. You can take it looser if it's too much resistance for you. So yeah, you can basically scale it in any way. So yeah, those are our exercises pretty much for the whole back. So we've covered the whole back. Front, I'm not too worried about. Everybody knows how to do push-ups, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, great. We're not going to talk about push-ups.
I think so. And
abs, not going to talk about it because back is so much more important.
Well,
yes?
Yeah, and if you're done showing for a minute, we'll sit at the better camera. Because you're going to come back too.
Okay.
I'm not letting you get away.
I'll keep showing stuff until you guys feel equipped.
Because what I think is so cool, and this again, kind of to bring it back, is when you're working on some of these other muscles in the back, you're not going to wake up in the morning going, look how good I look, right?
Oh, no, that's not going to happen.
But you're going to feel better. And I think at least, again, I'm kind of going from what me and Cheryl want. We just want to be more functional human beings, right?
Huge thumbs up.
So that when we want to go and do something, we can. And what's interesting is Cheryl, who tends to be a little more nervous about those things, she's the one who carries the couches. She's the one because she has the upper body strength and I don't. And before I hurt my back, I'd be like, if you can put it on my shoulder, I can take it. And I did banquet serving, and there were, there's the really big oval trays full of stuff. It was at a very fancy resort. I'd have big guys put them on because I could get them to the queen. But the property was multi-mile property, so sometimes I'd walk a mile with that. So I was strong then, but also that's why my wrists are bad, because my hands are tiny. People with big hands could have their hands like this.
Yeah.
But I can't have a 4-foot tray that way. So it's very interesting, and like I felt, even then, it felt really good to feel a little bit strong, you know?
Yeah.
And I think beyond that, as you get older, that certain things do change. Like when we were talking about, I did some more research about my ankle, and I think it's just a tendon. I have a little bit of tendonitis. Mm-hmm. And then when I think about, the older you get, the more you're like, well, I probably did this when I was a kid, and I probably did this then. And you realize, well, I need to make sure the muscles around that can protect it. Also, in doing the research, I found some stretches that are going to be helpful for me to do.
Yeah.
And it's stupid easy. I sit on the couch and watch TV and do this. Yeah. And I think with some of the resistance bands, though, while I think for me, I want to pay good attention, because I know that my back is already, you know, I work on the computer so much that, you know, if I'm not in the kitchen cooking, I'm on the computer doing work, that I need to really pay attention. And it's like a revelation that your head needs to be back so far, for me.
Back?
Yeah, like to meet the broom.
Oh, because our heads are normally like so.
Yeah.
Versus just, yeah, you can have a pigeon exercise for that. I call it pigeon because they walk like this.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah, but
we need to have like a little promo video with us doing this.
It's really good. Like, you'll get tired in your back and the muscles that you were like, I didn't know they existed before. Yeah, so that's a great exercise. Yeah, any kind of face pulls are great for that.
And so I think that for this time, I think the big takeaway is go to the store and get yourself a band if you don't already have one. And you said, so
I have some in stock, so if you guys sign up for whatever the program, you know, the beginner gym or beginner home program, I can just send you one of these bands together with it, so you know you don't need to worry.
And tell them more about the program.
Oh, yeah, totally. So I typically write custom stuff because everybody's unique. We all have our unique, you know, bodies. Somebody's legs are long, somebody's femurs are long, somebody has, you know, tendonitis or has injured knees, like shoulders that don't go around all the way, or like they can't do this, for example, right? So it doesn't matter how old, male or female, you know, people just, you can't put them in a box. You can't be like, oh, it's like a 40-year-old guy here. Oh, it's like a 50-year-old lady, you should do this. It doesn't work like that, so typically I write custom stuff because of that. But people who cannot afford to pay a couple $100 a month for a custom program, the next best thing to do is to get something that kind of starts to cover all the bases still, and you can still like send your coach videos, so you can send videos to the group chat. It's not individual checks. So anyways, there's two programs. One for the gym, covers all of your basic gym equipment, how to use it, how to periodize it. Periodize means like you do 10 reps of squats, say 3 sets 1 week, and next week let's say you do like 8. And next you do like, I don't know, 5 sets of 5 or whatever, depending on, you know, how everything else is going.
So in other words, don't be a robot. Like when
right.
I would go to the Y, they would make you this little program, but you just did the same thing.
Yeah, that's not how exercising works, because our body constantly changes, and if you don't change stuff, it doesn't have enough stimulus to like grow, recover, improve. So yeah, the gym program just teaches you about the gym equipment. Has videos, instructions with every single exercise. You have a group chat of all the other ladies who are doing it, so we all can chat, exchange recipes, complain what hurts. You know, you can ask me questions there. And the same thing for the home. So same thing, and you can tell me if you want a program with the bands or without the bands.
And you were saying it's in some ways using the bands is easier for people to start out with.
Yes.
Than using body weight.
Yeah, because how much does your body weigh? 100 pounds, 150, 200? How much does this resistance have? 15, 20 pounds? Do you see the difference? Yeah. And I can pull it from all angles. I can only like push my body. I can't really pull my body unless I'm doing a pull-up or like a reverse row. right? For the majority of women, you can't pull your body weight. So pulling exercises are out of question, body weight, right? Unless you're like more athletic and you can actually do a body weight pull-up. But then bands come into play because you can pull them from any angle. They're really easy. You can scale it, and you have only a couple pounds. Okay, got bored? Get the next level, and then the next level. Double them up. So yeah, that's, like I said, what my parents do now. That's what my elderly clients do now because it's extremely safe, and it's a lot easier than messing with the 200 pounds of your body weight, trying to push that off the floor.
And it makes total sense. Like for me, like I think it's just because these are a lot of things I haven't thought about
Most
before.
people haven't, so don't feel bad.
And I feel the same way, like when it comes to cooking, there are lots of times I'm like, no, this is so much easier way to do it.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to have you to tell me how to do it safely and easy. And Katya's going to be on some more shows too. So like from today, what I'd really like you guys to take away is that doing bands is not hard. You saw plenty of exercise. I want to, because like what we did.
We did like squats, deadlifts, all angles of row. We did not do too many pushing for upper body, so we can do that next time. Or if you guys have questions about something specific, you're welcome to email me or message me. I got a couple emails that are like, I'm this age old, I have like spinal stenosis, or this, and I'm trying to, goal, like lose weight, gain strength, blah, blah, what should I do? Those are great. Don't message me like, oh, I watched your show. What do you think I should do? Because I don't know, who are you? Just tell me like a couple of things about you, and then I'll be able to like send you an exercise or maybe some tips. But I want you to keep in mind that I'm not a doctor, never been a doctor, not able to prescribe anything or advise anything medical. That's out of my league. So in terms of recreational stuff and PT, yes.
Well, and I think that's really great. And we mentioned this last time too, because I think sometimes, and this happens to me too when people email me, I think sometimes they want to be nice, so they're not trying to give you too many details. You are only being nice to Katya if you give her the details. Don't write a 17-page report, but tell her, how old you are, what exercise level you are, what your goal is, and things like that. And then, if nothing else, you can also shoot them to one of your YouTube videos.
Yeah. I have a huge YouTube library. It's publicly available. I take it to build out programs out of it on my custom coaching application, but just the exercises by themselves, they're still available with instructions. And
if you've been thinking, so I haven't finished signing up for the app, or I would tell you more about the app. I'll tell you more next time. And Katya's app is what I'm talking about. But she was showing me last week some of the people that she's working with in the private programs. And one of the things that I didn't know that I want to make sure you guys know. So like she was showing me, so like a woman my age was doing pull-ups, but she was using a resistance band to help her not have to lift all her weight.
Yeah.
But Katya looks at videos, so you video yourself, and then she gives you response. So even though she's not a personal trainer in the way that she's in the room working out with you, I was shocked, like literally shocked by the level of detail that you're really helping people. So I just wanted to mention that too, because I think especially people that are starting to exercise and maybe going out of their comfort zone with things, it's so nice. Like I get questions all the time, like, I want to switch this for this. Is this going to work? And sometimes I have to be like, I've not done it, but theoretically it should work. Mm-hmm. But it's when you're dealing with your body and stuff, it was so nice last week to have you go more like this. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's all you need is this little bit of reassurance to make you feel a lot better about moving forward. But I would definitely say, I think it's a bargain, the $29 a month plan. I think all of it's a bargain because Katya's delightful.
Thank you.
And she's incredibly knowledgeable, so I feel really fortunate. You're my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Kathy.
She really just comes over to eat. So we're having ancho, mushroom, and tofu tacos or bowls. So recipe may be to come. But you guys, what I want you to get out of these, I know this isn't for everyone, is that while Katya is totally this killer power lifter person, and like look at the stickers she has. Can you guys see?
Those are actually pages of the book.
But you had a sticker like that too.
I did. I do have stickers, but this is available on Amazon. This is just
strong father, strong daughter,
encouraging women of all ages to get stronger and lift weights and not look like Barbie dolls, because it's not realistic, and just look like human beings enjoying exercising. So this is a book that has, myself and friends of mine from the gym. We just traced each other, drew each other, and threw some motivational quotes on top. That's my coach. Yeah, and
you'll see why I made that face. I'm like, wow.
You can color that stuff and kind of feel better about your body, because I grew up feeling terrible about my body. I thought I was like fat and ugly, but I hope that things like this that exist show that, people who look all kinds of ways still enjoy exercising, and like, I don't need to be super tiny to be strong. You actually get weaker if you get leaner. If you get less body fat, you get weaker. If you get super small, you get, all kinds of health problems.
Well, and also, Nate, because you were, the correct term is bodybuilder, correct?
I used to bodybuild, yes.
And that's when you're going for the lean.
Yeah, that's when you're going for no fat, all muscle. You look shredded because nothing covers, but like, I have more muscle now than I used to before when I was bodybuilding, but I also have more fat covering it, so that's why you don't really see that much definition. Like, if I was bodybuilding, you would see like, shreds here. You would see like muscle fibers like in the anatomy book.
And I am laughing because like you do that, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I need like, a little fan. Because I'm like, she's so strong. No, so it's also a different way of seeing things. So it's really interesting. I just wanted to put that out there too. So she doesn't mean don't lose any kind of weight. If I mean,
don't get anorexia. That's what I mean.
Yes, that is exactly.
Don't get so skinny that you're losing strength and your period and hair and whatever. Like, there's a limit to weight loss.
Right, and I think with our talks too, and with that, and the other things you're showing, is that it's about health, it's about a journey, and we want to get mentally healthier as well as physically healthier.
Man, another topic is lifting for mental health.
Ooh, I like that one.
I actually had a podcast about that with my team. Yeah, I have podcasts on Thursdays on my channel if you guys want to listen in.
You should.
They're every other Thursday, so not this one, but next one. So the topic is still up in the air, but we did talk about mental health, and specifically how my strength athletes have like kind of pulled themselves out of a dark place through lifting, or you can channel your like angry energy into lifting.
Well, and in a tiny way, because you guys know I've been doing the Peloton stuff, and so they actually have some mental health workouts. Like they're saying they're not professionals, but like there was the frustrated walks of the person, like, and I just want you to be frustrated and sassy and full of yourself, and and I'm just like, I'm eating this up. It works for me. Or like there was this one, like right when I got my liver diagnosis, I was really kind of upset and anxious, and there was a ride for it. And people were talking about different things, and it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Like some people hate it when someone goes, yeah, you go. We're doing this all together. And like, no, we're not.
Right.
But I'm like, I'll take that. I'll take that little push. Thank you. So it works for me.
Yeah. I just want to say that it's not super sustainable to do workouts only like that.
Oh, yeah.
You should probably get to a better place mentally. And if it helps you start, that's awesome. If it helps you like get the thing out, and instead of drinking a bottle of wine, going to do an angry workout or Peloton or whatever, that's great. But not super sustainable to continues that energy for a very long time.
I agree.
Probably should work on that energy somewhere else with a therapist.
I totally agree. Like I just like there were just some things I was surprised every time I go and I look up something on Peloton, and I'm like, plus you can do Disney workouts, you can do Broadway workouts. Like Cheryl loves this stuff. And like
do they pay you for advertisements?
No.
Okay.
No, they just take my money.
Oh.
But it was kind of nice because like I'm a person who likes someone to be there. You know, like one of the things I loved about yoga is I would go there, they would tell me what to do, and I would do it.
Yeah.
And then I could go home and be a normal person. So you didn't have to have quite the same amount of motivation as if you're coming home and you're learning yoga on your own.
I don't believe in motivation, Kathy.
We talked about that. No, that's okay. I don't in my business, so I think I just do stuff because I decide I'm going to do it, so I do it.
I think you're super. If we are talking motivation, you are super motivated because you want to learn a thing. You learn a thing, and then you're at the level when you're teaching others how to do a thing, from music to cooking to anything.
Yeah, I'm a pretty. As far as all the people, I'm on a high level of self motivation, but there are things that are hard. Yeah. And so I think sometimes it's nice to like have a coach or have a program. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's so cool that you're doing that, because like there's another thing that I'm getting ready to do that's going to take a lot of self-discipline. So something that I'm not as good as self-discipline in, I'm going to try and like pad that with help.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, and I don't think, the reason why I don't think it's about motivation is because I think it's about organizing your environment in the way that whatever you don't want to do is so easy, like it's stupid easy. If it's not stupid easy, you're not going to do it. Humans are not good about doing hard things. We're just not. That's why we have cars and all of the other conveniences of life. But yeah, like if you struggle making yourself work out, you need to reorganize your environment, hang out with people who walk or bike or work out more, get a workout buddy, number one, get a support group. Number two, like you said, program coach. The one piece that's missing is a support group, which is why I have group chats in Total Body Lab where you can talk about like, I don't like this, freaking lunges. I hate lunges. And everybody's like, yeah, hate lunges. I get lunges again this week. And I don't mind. They're still doing it.
Right.
But they kind of play it off of each other, and I can give them thumbs up, thumbs down, provide some support from like a coaching perspective, and the program just provides excitement that, they're going to do a new thing,
And that's true, because like one of the things like that I've noticed have come out of Peloton is there's different Facebook groups, and some of the people are making stuff like, here's the classes we're doing for July. Here's because there's like more classes than I'll ever do in my entire, there's like thousands or something. They're stupid.
I'd be so lost.
Well, see, I'm like, ooh, it's gay pride. Is there a gay pride walk? Seriously, this is how I pick things. Okay. Or I'm like, ooh, I can walk in Iceland and see the Iceland scenery. I'm easily entertained.
It's cool. I guess I'm easily entertained because I don't need Iceland to train. I need a barbell.
No, that's because you're awesome, and this is what you are really good at. So sometimes I need the little, like I try to take food and like, whereas the stuff that I just made, like literally, and I made dinner last night, it was stuff that I grew in the garden. So like I had a bunch of mini eggplants, and I had some bell pepper, and a friend gave me some tomatoes. And I made kind of a ratatouille sort of thing, but it was more of an eggplant tomato-y thing. I baked some leftover grits, so I made grit cakes. And then I took a can of white beans, yellow squash and a zucchini, and some lemon basil, and sauteed it all together with some garlic. And it was like nothing, but when I sat down to eat it, I'm like, I would go out to eat this.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is like, someone else would look at that and go, wow, that was so much work. And I'm like, literally, I put the grits in the fridge so they would make a cake, like, so I could eat them another time.
Yeah.
So like, and I think exercise can be the same way. I'm learning what makes it easier for me to get it done. And I do agree with you with the motivation word, or like I think my hot button word is inspired.
Oh, I love inspired, yes.
And see, And I feel about inspired the way you feel about motivation, though.
Oh no!
I know. But it's okay. We can feel different ways. And one of the reasons is when we're talking about work, or like when I'm helping people learn how to do cooking classes or write a blog post. If you can't just wait to be inspired to do this, you can. If it's not a business, if it's not your main mode of but if you're going to have a business, you can't wait till you're inspired. So over the years, I guess in your way of thinking of inspired, I get inspired all the time. I look around my kitchen and I can come up with something to do. Like I always tell people when they're doing videos to have a show and tell pile, and like literally, even right now, I have stuff over there I haven't talked to you about that I could get excited at any given time. So I think it's the difference between waiting for the universe. Like if you waited for the universe to go, Katya, let's go lifting. I'm excited about it, right? It might, for you, it's going to happen more than it would for me anyhow, because it is a love for you. Whereas for me, it's, I want to feel better. So,
no, it's definitely escapism for me as well.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. If I don't want to deal with life, I just go to the weight room.
And see, I kind of do, like, you guys have been asking me to ferment some stuff. So I do have 2 pickles. One, I pickled some beets.
Nice.
So
love beets.
And so this is my first lacto fermentation ever. And so, like, I've been doing that because that's fun. It's fun for me to play at things that I don't know.
Yes.
And see what happens. I love the experimentation.
Yeah, I totally get that. That's why I was learning handstands a while ago. That's why I was learning Olympic lifting, which is totally different from powerlifting, in case you guys are wondering.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's like totally different, but it's still like revolving around, complex athletic movements.
I love that. So, and think about for yourself, think about what, for both of us, for both sides of this, what makes it easier for you to cook or feed yourself when it's hot? Does that mean maybe cooking a bunch of potatoes at night when it's not so hot and then doing some things with them? Oh, wow. What's growing in your garden? How can you eat? Last year, I came to the realization why they call it a garden salad when I picked lettuce and cucumbers. And so I was like, oh!
Exactly,
I never realized that's where it came from.
Yeah.
And so just spiralize a cucumber. They're noodles. Put a peanut sauce on it. Make it easy and accessible.
Yeah.
And sometimes do a few things. Like if you bought mushrooms, cut up all the mushrooms. Put some in the freezer in case you don't use them. And think of the same ways, like get a band. Yeah. If you have the band with you, maybe you don't sit and work out for the 15 or 20 minutes that Katya showed us. You can do at least something. You can do 5 or 10 and then do something else and then come back and do 5 or 10. That's when I was a musician and I didn't want to practice. Sometimes, even as a professional, sometimes you're just like, dude, I need a break. I would leave my French horn out. And I would say, every time I pick it up, 15 minutes. And
I like that.
And I would do a lot more because I wasn't really putting this kind of pressure. I'm a bad person if I don't do this for 2 hours a day. And I think that just, I hear this a lot with other people saying this is be curious, be playful. And, I'm not always that way. I tend to do something and do it all the way.
Yeah. Kind of do or don't.
And I think it's, at 58, I think it's time to learn how to be a little playful. I am curious about certain things for sure. But you guys think about that. You tell me how it feels. Oh, and Joanne's saying group partners are motivating for her. I'm not competing with others, but it does drive me for better practice. I know. And when I got diagnosed with my liver issue, the first thing, actually it was when I was getting the biopsy, my friend Faith, who's a nurse, who came with me because she's adorable, was like, well, we will walk every week. These are the 2 days I have off, and we have walked every week.
That's awesome.
And just having someone to do that with, even though it's also fun and we visit and it's lovely, it does mean a lot. So I think it does it's important with a group. And when
Yeah.
I've done exercise, when I was doing things more seriously decades ago, like with my Aikido people, we traveled, we went to seminars, we did everything together. We saw each other several times a week and I'm still close with some of those people.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And your group can be online too, just saying. We learned that over COVID. That's why I have support groups for different kind of athletes. I call them all athletes. It doesn't matter if you're older, if you are learning how to just do basic movements, if you're competitive, if you're training at home at the gym, but they're still groups, and
Yep.
they kind of sort of see each other.
Well, you guys, my community is online.
Absolutely.
So, and see, back in the day when I was doing all that, there wasn't I wasn't even using computers for a long time, till the end of that.
Yeah.
Think about that. I'm so old. But I'm happy. Oh, yay. Hi, Apple. I haven't seen you in a while, but I haven't been coming on spontaneously. Apple says, I resist competition and instructions, bosses, you and me both. I'm self-motivated. I'm definitely playful, curious. Yes, you are. And in fact, Apple, I was thinking about you. Apple was a yoga teacher also. And she's just super awesome in all the ways. And it's interesting, like in certain things, I'm okay with instructions, but I don't like to work in companies.
I don't like to do that either.
And I will partner on a project.
Yeah.
But I don't want to partner on a whole business.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's because I pivot so much and do so many, I need to have that freedom. With companies, like random rules make me mad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we're all different. Also, what kills me on a company is, and this happened to me, it's like we were doing a yearly check-in and they're like, well, you have to pick a time and a half an hour to come in between 7 and 9. You can't possibly come in at 9:30. And there was someone who came in at 9:30 every day across the hall from her. Every day. I saw him every day. And I couldn't even say anything because there was no way, and I was not going to say something nice. Like usually I'm Southern. I can finagle, but no, I was just going to go, you're a liar, because this happened. So I was like, okay, I need to work for myself.
Yeah.
And I work 10 times harder for myself, and that's fine.
But you're more motivated to do so.
Oh, look at that. Motivation, inspiration, and resistant band. All you wanted for your day. Big hugs to all you guys. Thank you so much for following us over to part 2. I will try and get all the links up over here. If not, just go and check Plant-Based Chat. It should be coming up really soon on my channel because it processed while we were doing this one. But give yourselves a big hug. Take a deep breath. I don't know what's going on out in the universe, but something is like trying to break all the things. It's not just you. Feed yourself well. Take a little walk. Maybe take a walk to get a resistance band. Say hello to a puppy or a kitty, and everything will feel better. Okay? And Katya's going to come back on next month. And we're going to have Doc Steph coming up, and we are going to talk about SIBO, which is small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which I know nothing about. But we had been talking about that some, and so there was some interest. So if you have some questions, shoot them over to me, kathyhester@gmail.com, or come hang out Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Hopefully everything will work. And until then, big hugs, and I will talk to you guys really, really soon.
Bye.